All right, and our next case would be People v. Stephanie Becker. It's two files, 25-7067 and 7068. Counsel, you want to state your occurrences, please?
Melissa Gooder, Wayne County Prosecutor.
No, I guess Ms. Becker who appears in person, eventually to my right.
Okay, and Ms. Becker had withdrawn her previously entered plea. Because I couldn't follow the sentence agreement legally, and now there's a new plea agreement. Is that how we want to proceed, counsel?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Your Honor, thank you.
Okay, Ms. Becker, you want to stand and raise your right hand for me? You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, you can have a seat. And Mr. Nightingale, do you consent to the filing of the amended information in 7067?
I do.
Ms. Becker, 7067, now it's been altered from the possession of methamphetamine to a use of methamphetamine, which is a lower offense. It's a misdemeanor punishable by a year and or $2,000 fine. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Now, I guess let me ask, would counsel want me to ask Ms. Becker to reaffirm her previous plea taking and just have this reduction, or should we go through the whole?
That was sort of my thought, is that we just incorporate whatever
Okay.
that prior admission.
No
Right.
objection.
So Ms. Becker, do you recall entering your plea previously to 2 counts of possession?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, you remember all the rights we went through?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that by entering a plea, you don't have any of those rights, you give them up and you don't have a trial?
Yes, sir.
Do you reaffirm today all the statements you made when you entered that plea?
Yes, sir.
And this is just reducing one of the charges from a possession to a use to facilitate the 7411 on the possession. Is that right, Mr. Nightingale?
That is correct.
So do you believe we have a sufficient record to accept the plea at this time?
I do.
Ms. Goodrich?
Yes.
All right, so Ms. Becker, in conjunction with the previous hearing, I do find that your plea is knowingly, understandingly, and voluntarily made, and that there is a sufficient basis, in fact, in law to believe you're guilty of those offenses. So I accept the plea. I mean, we'll need to just have them change the PSI a bit so that there's nothing on record that she's got the 2 felonies. Otherwise, I would think we could just maybe even go forward.
I was hoping maybe we could just do it today.
We could just do it today and then ask the department to alter the 7067 portions of the PSI.
That would be our request if the board is not doing that.
Any objection to that, Ms. Goodrich?
No objection.
So with that being the only recommended change, did you have any other additions, corrections, or scoring challenges, Mr. Nightingale?
No, Your Honor.
Any from the people?
No, Your Honor, other than it looks like the Mackinac case is still pending. So,
Mr. Nightingale, anything you want to say in your client's behalf?
Yes, Your Honor, thank you. So Ms. Becker comes before the court, 42 years of age. I don't believe that she's had a birthday since this PSI was prepared. Judge, she's got a pretty limited record, 1 prior felony, 2 prior misdemeanors. These are her first, I think, serious run-ins with the court involving methamphetamine. Obviously, hopefully this is her last, because the court, I think, is really aware at this point. Ms. Becker's been struggling with some very serious health issues for months now at this point. She is still going through some cancer treatment. I have provided the court one document today regarding, it says that she had an insertion of a breast implant on the 12th. That's not correct. She had a brachytherapy on the 12th that actually lasted through the 14th, I believe. It was like a 3-day process for her where she couldn't do anything besides lay on her back and get stabbed with needles. And so I think that Ms. Becker, frankly, has been through a lot in this court process, more than most people thankfully have to do at once ever. Most people thankfully are not ever charged with a felony, and thankfully most people are not diagnosed with very, very serious cancer in their 40s, their early 40s at that. And Ms. Becker has had to deal with both of these at the same time. Has she been perfect in that process? No, absolutely not. I think the court has been pretty frustrated at certain times with her performance on the bond line. If you ask Ms. Becker, she's doing her best. She's not been able to work since she's been diagnosed with cancer, and she's still supporting small children. Her husband, I think, is out of work right now. She's back living with her parents for the most part, relying on them for transportation, for funds, for everything. Thankfully, she has that good family support to rely on. I don't know where Ms. Becker would be right now if she didn't have her parents supporting her like that. I think we'd be having a much different conversation about Ms. Becker. But thankfully, she does have the good family support. I do think she's going to be a good candidate for probation when she's able to move past these health issues. And I think, frankly, once she has an assigned probation officer to her, that she'll be able to have that better communication with them, be able to get these documents over to them right away, and be able to come off this bond line, which has really been the bane of her existence besides the cancer at this point. So, Judge, for all those reasons, we're going to ask the court to adopt the recommendations contained within the PSI, sans, putting her on 2 7411s, putting her on the 17411 for the possession case, putting her on probation or time serving her for the misdemeanor at this point. I don't know how the court wants to do that, but I think that Ms. Becker would be a good candidate for probation, and we would ask the court to affirm the recommendations contained therein. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Manager. Ms. Becker, you don't have to tell me anything today, but you're welcome to. Is there anything you want to say?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, that's fine. Ms. Goodrich, any recommendations from the people?
Thank you, Your Honor. The defendant has 1 prior felony and 2 prior misdemeanors. This would be the first drug-related felony. These were true possession cases, not delivery cases. So we would ask the court to follow the plea agreement on the 7411 as to the felony charge and put Ms. Becker on probation to address those substance abuse issues. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Ms. Becker, if you please stand for the court sentence then. On the, I think I'll first impose sentence in time on 7068 so that we don't disqualify her for a 7411.
Thank you.
And in that file for, looks like that was a possession of, looks like even a residue possession case during a traffic stop. There hasn't been perfect compliance on bond, to be sure. I know there's been some health problems. It's still a bit murky in my mind to what extent they excuse some of the lapses on bond. My impression is that they don't entirely excuse the extent of the lapses on bond. But at this point, we're going to put her on probation, so I'm going to dismiss the pending contempt citations. And I'm going to, in 7068, place you on probation with the Department of Corrections for 18 months. Under section 7411 of the Public Health Code, which means it'll be a non-public file. If you successfully complete the terms of probation, the charge will be dismissed. On that term of probation, you have to comply with the terms and conditions listed on pages 3 through 5 in the pre-sentence report. Obviously, they include drug testing and treatment. They also include a crime victims assessment of $130, court costs of $350, state costs of $68, and a monthly supervision fee to the Department of Corrections. Because it's 7411 probation, we're not entering a judgment of sentence at this time. Therefore, we don't give you the appeal rights at this point because there's no judgment that's going to enter of your conviction. Okay. In 7068, That's now a use of methamphetamine. That was again a possession of methamphetamine during a traffic stop. Pled down to the misdemeanor use. For that, I'll just assess the fines and costs of $50 for misdemeanor state cost, $75 for misdemeanor crime victims assessment, for a total of $125 in that file. So we are entering a judgment on that file in 7067. So we're going to hand you a copy of your appeal rights in that file. If you wanted to appeal, you'd have to ask me for a lawyer within 6 months. Ask you to initial one copy for us, the other ones to fill out if you want to take an appeal. You can pay that $125 down at the clerk's office. And then I want you to stop in at the probation department before you leave today and tell them that you were re-entered your plea and were sentenced, and they can get you going on probation. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Any questions for me?
If I can't pay that fine today,
Then you set up a payment plan with my staff.
thank you.
Okay. Good luck to you.
Thank you, Judge. Yes, 6-7.
All right, and that concludes our learning docket. We'll be in recess so long.
Thank you.